Hi, I am Dr. Naveen Mehrotra, neurosurgeon from the Sunshine Hospital, Secunderabad branch. Today I am going to share my experiences about a rare but a disabling problem called as the spinal tumors. Spinal tumors we see in our clinical practice, and they, if treated properly, they have good outcome, and if left, they may cause some people to have disabling symptoms. So the spine is divided into four parts, that is the cervical or the neck part, or the thorax or the body part, lumbar or the lower region, or the sacrum. So the spinal tumors can arise from any of the region. It can arise either in the cervical region, it can arise in the dorsal, lumbar, or in the sacral region. Then you see the spine is made up of the bony elements which are called as the vertebra, and they have the neural component which is called as the spinal cord, which is surrounded by the layer of dura. So depending upon the origin of the tumor, they can be labeled either as an extradural tumor, meaning thereby that they arise from outside the tumor, that is, they may arise from the bone or the surrounding tissue and may cause compression upon the spinal cord. Secondly, they can arise inside the dura mater, so they are called as intradural tumors. So these intradural tumors can be divided into two components called as intramedullary, that is, they are arising from the substance of the spinal cord, or extramedullary, that is, they are arising from the outside but compressing the spinal cord. So what are the symptoms that these spinal tumors can cause? The commonest symptom of a spinal tumor is back pain or a pain. This pain, depending upon the site of origin, if it is in the neck, it is called as, it will be in the neck pain. If it is in the dorsal, then it will be in the body. Or if it is in the lower region or lumbar region, then it will be low back pain. So pain constitutes one of the commonest symptom for the spinal tumors. One characteristic feature of this pain of spinal tumors is that this pain worsens during the night. Secondly, if they involve the nerve roots, then they may cause pain into the hands or legs depending upon the nerves they involve. If they involve the cervical region or the neck region, then it can involve both the hands and the legs. If they involve the thoracic region, then they involve the thoracic region, and they can cause problem in the body, in the dorsum, in the body as well as in the legs. And if they arise from the lower region, then they cause problem in the legs. And if it is the sacral region, then they cause back pain or sometimes the involvement of the bowel and bladder. If the tumor progresses, it sometimes causes disabling or bladder bowel involvement. These are the ones which can cause serious morbidities in these patients. The symptoms depend upon the location of the tumor in the spine. Suppose the tumor arises from the cervical region, then it may cause involvement of both the hands or the legs. Suppose it takes origin from the dorsal spine, then it can cause involvement of the body along with the lower limbs. The tumors arising from the lumbar region will involve the lower limbs, and the tumors arising from the sacrum may involve the bowel and the bladder. Pain remains the commonest modality of the presentation in the case of spinal tumors. If it is the cervical region, it can cause neck pain. Similarly, if it is in the dorsal region, it can cause mid-dorsal pain, and if it is the lower region, it can cause back pain. One characteristic feature of the pain is that the pain becomes worse during the night. And then neurological deficits. The spinal tumors usually can cause neurological deficits depending upon again the site of involvement. If it is the cervical cord, then they cause weakness or paresthesias, which is also called as numbness or burning sensation of all the four limbs. Similarly, if they arise in the dorsum, they can cause a band-like sensation or a tightness in the chest along with weakness of the lower limbs. Similarly, if the tumor arises from the lower portion or the lumbosacral cord, it can cause pain in the legs or the bowel and bladder involvement. Usually the tumors that involve or the spinal tumors are primary, meaning thereby that they arise from the spine per se, or they can be secondary, meaning thereby that the tumor can metastasize to the spine, meaning thereby that you have a tumor elsewhere in the body, suppose lung, kidney or thyroid, and then they can metastasize and involve the spinal tumors. If the tumors, these are called as secondary tumors or metastatic tumors. The treatment varies from the primary tumors as well as the secondary tumors. So now if you have a suspicion or doubt of spinal tumor, what is the investigation of choice? The investigation of choice for diagnosing a spinal tumor is an MRI, and that too done with contrast is the investigation of choice. So what does the contrast do? The contrast helps us to delineate the tumor and identify and separate from the normal neural tissues. So now we have got the presentation of the spinal tumor, how to diagnose the spinal tumor, then what is the treatment for the spinal tumors. The treatment for spinal tumors is essentially surgical. It has to be removed. One important thing about the spinal tumors is they are predominantly benign tumors. The malignant tumors are rare in the spinal tumors, especially the primary tumors. Metastatic tumors are secondary tumors, and their treatment depends along with the treatment of the primary. So if the tumor is an extradural tumor, it has to be removed. Usually the outcome is good, and we tend to have less chances of a neurological deficit. Then comes the intradural tumors. Intradural tumors are slightly more complicated than the extradural tumors and require surgical excision, especially the tumors which are extramedullary, which are arising from the nerve sheath called as schwannoma, or if they are arising from the dura called as the meningioma, need to be usually excised, and they are usually benign tumors and carry a good outcome with the less chances of recurrence. Among all the spinal tumors, the intramedullary tumors are the most complicated because they arise within the substance of the cord, and their surgical removal carries some risk of worsening of the neurological deficits. So what happens in intramedullary tumors is, since they are arising from the substance of the cord and there is a possibility that we may cause damage to them, we try to do them under intraoperative electrophysiological monitoring, meaning thereby that once before operating, we put the needles and try to get the baseline electrode or potentials, so that when we operate, if there is any worsening, we know that probably because of our surgical intervention, there is some damage or trauma to these nerves, and we can modify our surgical route or exposure, a surgical removal, so that the patient may not have a worse outcome. Usually these tumors do well, and once the tumors are removed, the patient improve very well and lead almost close to a normal life, except those with have intramedullary tumors. Now coming to a word about the spinal tumors, if the spinal tumors of the metastatic origin, then they need treatment for the primary tumors, and if they have involved the multiple vertebra, then we need to do the biopsy, and depending upon that, they may require a combination of radiochemotherapy. At Sunshine Hospitals, we are fully equipped to operate such tumors, and we have been operating such tumors with good outcome. The presence of an operative microscope, so that illuminates, or it has got a good illumination, so that helps us to see the anatomy, and the complete removal is possible using standard microneurosurgical techniques. Along with that, we have intraoperative monitoring, so that we can do this maximal safe resection of these tumors. Thank you.